everyone, this is Aisha and welcome to our 66th Kotlin tutorial, and in this tutorial I'll be talking about the object declaration. So in Kotlin programming language, object declaration is also called singleton, and singleton is that type of class in which you can create only one object. Then in singleton you cannot have any constructor. For example, when we were talking about the abstract class, we said that there should be no object of the abstract class. Similarly, when we are talking about the singleton, we say that a singleton can have only one object. Now, how you can create a singleton? By using the keyword object. So now I'm going to create a singleton. So now one more thing is, in a singleton you can have methods, you can have properties, etc., and you can access these properties and methods by using their dot annotation like we did in regular classes. Now I'm going to use this keyword object, and then we will have or the name of the singleton. For example, I can write singleton example. So here you can see when I write singleton, I have this. Okay, let me write again. So you can see when I write singleton, I have this option of singleton. If I enter this, I will have the same keyword, which is object, and it will declare a singleton. So when I enter, you can see we have this object here, the keyword object, to declare singleton. So now here I have to remove this, and now I am creating a singleton example, single, or you can say single example. Then we will have the body of this type of class, or we can say the body of singleton. So inside the body of the singleton you have your private or public or whatever you want, your properties and the functions. So I'm going to create a private member, private property of integer type. I'm going to assign 4 to it, and then I'm going to create another property. So now here you can see that we haven't used any private or public, so by default this property will be public, then of integer type, and I'm going to assign it, for example, 2. Okay, now I'm going to create another function, multiply, which will multiply these two numbers. No arguments. The return type of this function is integer type, and then the body of the function, in which I will have the return statement, and I will multiply these two numbers. So x into y will be returned. Now inside the main function, I'm going to create a variable which will store the result of this multiplication of integer type. And now I'm going to write answer equals the name of our singleton, single example, and then the dot operator, and then I'm going to access the multiply function, and then print line. So you can see that we have used the name of the function of the singleton to call its method. Then in print line statement, I'm going to print dollar, and then we will have single example dot y. So I am accessing the data member or the property of this single example. I can write here the value of y equals this expression, and then print line answer equals or variable. So what we did, first of all, we have created a singleton using this object keyword, and inside this singleton we have two properties. The first property is private and the second property is public. So we can access the public property from here, but we cannot access the private property, which is x. Then we have another function multiply, and its return type is integer. So when the function is called, it will return some value which will be stored in this variable answer. So now the answer will be printed out. Now let's run the program and you will see the output. Here you have the value of y equals 2 and answer equals 8. So what we did in this tutorial, first of all, we have created a singleton using the keyword object. Inside the singleton we have two properties. We have a function which is called in the main function using the name of the singleton, then the dot operator, and then the name of the function, and then we have accessed the public data member or the property of the singleton, and then answer is printed. So guys, that's it for this tutorial. Thank you guys for watching the video, and I'll see you in the next tutorial.